Hello. There we go. All right, and we're live. Sorry about the slight delay. My OBS changed my audio input for my microphone. Alrighty. Let's get started. And change some skills around before I get too far. Gonna start this stream off by getting to the Infinite Archive and getting started. Then probably about half an hour in, I'll pull up the reveal trailer / video for 2024, which I'm pretty sure is old news at this point, but what better way to get started into the new Gold Road chapter than to watch the introduction to it, right? And I know for certain that I didn't used to know the way to get to Infinite Archive on foot, so anybody else who didn't know stumbles across this might find it useful. Depending on how deep into the RP they get. Walking slow. Oh, that would be why. Need me some Steed's Blessing. There we go, that's better. Alright. So the way down is right here. Some hushed, but it's not that big a deal. Take a hard left to the end of this slight beach section. And there's the hole. Right down here is the Infinite Archive. Oh. I just realized I need to turn the game volume up. There we go. Now, I will be running the Infinite Archive as a tank, so it might be slow going, but so be it.
Thoat Replicanum take a break. Copies of Thoat Replicanum keep infecting this archive with malligraphies. I can offer you the same deal as last time. Destroy the malligraphies, find Thoat Replicanum, and I'll reward you. How does that sound?
As he basically said right there, I have done the intro quest to this whole thing, so I won't be able to showcase that, but I can show what it'll be like to do it again, which I'm sure many people are familiar with. How many more copies are there?
There's no way to know. Thoat Replicanum's been running around for far too long. There could be hundreds of her. But I know how we can ensure there's one less Thoat in the archive.
We find her and erase her.
Exactly. Don't forget to take some side portals. There's more to explore in this archive than either of us know. Oh, and use the gifts from Hermaeus Mora to strengthen your weaker abilities, or to increase your most powerful ones.
Now, I have done a few runs of Infinite Archive in the past, but I spent most of my currency on some other stuff that isn't the upgrades. So forgive me if I'm a bit low, a bit less powerful than some others or yourself. All right, let's track down another Thoat Replicanum.
So long as Thoat Replicanum exists within the Infinite Archive, it'll never be quiet. You could return here and collect your dues after fighting the first Replicanum, but don't let that stop you from fighting her more.
We will only be fighting the first one just because I don't want this to take forever. Why can't we use the Nimic we found last time?
I tried that. Unfortunately, nothing happened. These versions of Thoat Replicanum are technically separate entities. I'm not sure how much they differ, but they must have unique experiences. Regardless, they don't share the exact same true name.
How do we find the pieces of the Nimic?
Last time, the larger malligraphies carried the fragments of the Nimic. That's where I suggest we start. Who knows? Maybe Thoat Replicanum will be too wrapped up in whatever it is she's looking for to hide the fragments better. We can always hope.
Alrighty. Time to hop in. First couple of floors are usually pretty easy. Damage is so slow as a thing.
The day is ours.
Go. Stage 1 complete.
Over here, mortal, with the rewards. I do hope you'll choose something
You
interesting.
pestilent globs. Right.
Keep them on the defensive. The day will be ours.
And I apologize for not being quite so talkative as I usually am. I'm dealing with the slight headache, so it's making me not want to do a whole lot of verbalizing.
This wing doesn't look too out of sorts, but I'll have to do a full inventory to be sure.
Archival weaponry. We do with the damage bonus.
Have I told you how great it is that you do all the fighting?
Alright. Fight a world boss from Deshaun, I believe. heck's going on there? Spawned slightly off the platform. That's funny. And in case anybody was wondering, I was able to get the book Chronicle of Apocrypha once the update fully downloaded onto my computer.
Where enemy crowd noise. Well,
Right.
Got a knack for stumbling
Master
across those
Malphite
things.
says you do good work.
Break free restores resources. Cool. I'll take that. Alright. There was one stage done. Or art. I don't remember what I'm calling it. I think it's stage one right now. I hate these bubbles.
That's got it.
Okay. Okay, so these small ones are stages.
Just the mortal we needed. None shall best your ink-slaying prowess.
World skills. I think that would only help me with... That help me with anything that I have right now. No, it would not. Okay. I guess siphoning vigor.
Charm was effective. Steady Mortal Kombat.
That's the last of them.
Seems enjoyable. Justify your movements
For glory!
for our
Bristleback. Okay, don't really know what stunned me there. But stunned I was. Could have sworn I passed that.
You protected
Okay,
eons
what do we
of
got
knowledge
here?
from devastation.
I'm not doing a whole lot of dodging. Yeah, Frenzied Zeal.
Don't hesitate to return to the index if you need to resupply.
Ooh, is this another world boss? I think this is the Reach world boss. cycle. That's right. Didn't make it. Oh, here they are. Definitely the world boss. Ooh, boy, there's a lot. That was a lot of ads. Holy crap.
There are no books up here. I'm too smart for that. Smart enough to take the fragment of Melchest as well.
Area of effect damage decreased by 3%. Why not?
You broke the spell. Come on, get out of there.
Okay. You have here too. Go. I don't think you
I see you're proving your worth.
do. Darn, no
Glad to see
bookbinding
other
supplies.
entities doing their share around here.
Do enhanced remedy. Ooh, yay! Portal to the unknown. Yeah, splits into a bunch of shards. You gotta go collecting them. Sometimes they can run away from you though, like that. See, it doesn't. It's not clear what the rules are 100%. Do I keep moving? Do I stay still? But if I move too far too fast, they still go away. It's a mess. See, there goes another one. It's unclear as to why. Got too far away on that one.
Hurry. You don't have much
second.
time left.
Oh, I might not finish this one.
Now we know who we're going
Yeah,
to
I didn't do it.
haunt.
Those ghost lights are annoying. It's a bummer too. I wanted that style page. whatever it was gonna be.
Oh, you know what you're doing. This place is chaotic enough as it is.
Okay, apparently I wasn't getting grappled anyway.
You quite well for a creature without IDs.
Courage brings victory.
Immediately one of those bubbles. That's
Got no power left. Use a potion.
This is the most violence the archive has ever
all
seen.
right.
That's a thought worth filing.
Let's do rebirth.
I hope you faced this calligraphy before.
Sentinel Axelaz. What are you from?
I shall find that point where you break.
I don't think I've ever fought this guy. I might forget it. What is this wrong? Definitely looks on work. Get out of that circle this time.
This does not end until I am satisfied.
Get some more resources. Ingrate. I've definitely not fought this guy. Where the heck is he from?
Approaches.
Oh no. Third one. Vigor. Fortitude, zeal, and vigor. What does it all mean?
They made their choices. So be it.
Alright. One more cycle and then we fight Thoat.
Aha! Don't worry, I have it. See? All safe with me.
Ultimate cost reduced by 3%. Heck yeah. disabled enemies now. Going pretty smooth. Hope it stays that way. Heck. Serious input lag going on. I swear I'm pressing some buttons and they don't. The things I'm trying to do don't happen.
That's over with, I suppose.
Almost no one in the archive has
Magic
martial
over
skills.
here.
It's a good thing you came along.
Oh, sweet. Another portal. Ooh, the combat one. Haven't tried this one as tank before, so this would be fun to see. Probably also gonna take a long freaking time. Holy crap. Just thinking about it.
Don't give up. They get up.
Don't.
You're exhausted. Pace yourself.
Oh. Hit these tendrils. Super. No, no. Ah, there it goes.
You have much to learn.
Need a lot more damage. Of course, put a bubble right before I was trying to do a magic attack. That's shoot, they can heal for a lot. Probably should have taken care of the Totem Master first, but whatever.
The battle is won.
It worked out in the end.
No remorse. Keep moving.
Hello.
That's the way.
Okay. The lag. Oh god, that latency.
Perform marvelously. Claim
More
your
archival
reward and
weaponry.
the next
I
batch
guess
of
new
violence.
archival weaponry.
We should get another mimic fragment from this malignity.
I thought the verses all applied until the end of the end of the cycle you're in, but apparently they only apply to the next stage. That's interesting. Now, I barely remember this guy, but I'm pretty sure he's from Maw or College. Now, do I need to be behind these pillars, or is that yeah, no. I have no clue. All I know right now is that he's not taking any damage, even though Bash is wailing on him. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, I was supposed to be behind something there. Back slam. Doesn't do anything. Oh, something next to it. Now, hopefully I can get these cats down fast enough to res Bash. Don't know how much good it'll do, but something.
Victory is cruel. Defeat is worse.
Well, that was worth it. Oh well. Be cleansed. And go hide. Oh. Broke his shield, but he doesn't care. Interesting. Oh, now it's okay. Okay. Gun. Almost didn't make it. There's pillar to break. Move him around. Another one right next to it. Okay. Third. That seems unusual. And there you go. The Bastion wasn't as helpful as I'd have hoped.
Just grab this fragment. Nothing to see here.
Alright. Yeah, let's do persistent pain. Alright. And we're at 37 minutes. So I'm going to take us over to the video. There we go. Hopefully it will work. Hopefully it will work. Hopefully it will. Oh, little plot. My own audio cut there. Well, I guess I'll just hope for the best. Alright, just want to make sure. Looks like it's working.
Hello there, travelers, and welcome to my tavern.
Sorry, Quincy. I'm gonna skip past it. Get straight into the reveal. Where are we? Is it just a fan art showcase? Probably not the best I could have done, but it works. And there's a clock because this was live streamed.
Welcome everyone to the 2024 Elder Scrolls Online Global Reveal. Today, we'll share all of the details of our 2024 plans, including ESO's new chapter. But first, I'd like to take a moment to talk about what ESO means to all of us, here at ZeniMax Online, and to all of you. We built ESO as a virtual world centered around Elder Scrolls lore, where you can go anywhere, play in any style you want with endless customization, and have the freedom to roleplay as anyone you want. And also, to be a safe harbor from the often unpredictable and complex outside world. Just take a step back to the game's early days and see how...
So a lot of the stuff he seems to be talking about is stuff that drew me to the game initially. Even the whole escapism thing, which I think applies to almost any video game, really, because it's an attempt to escape from the real world. As I'm sure has been covered by multiple people. Minus those who want to inject real-world politics into video games for some reason. Which, interesting stance to take, but, you know, each their own.
I missed it. Well, I'm sure you.
Anyway, let's continue.
How much we've accomplished. From taking on Moloch Ball with the help of Cadwell and Darian Gauthier, fighting other players.
Speaking of Darian, when the heck is he coming back? Because Meridia brought him back as her champion during, well, I suppose I shouldn't have said that. That's kind of spoilery for one of the expansions. But I liked him as a character. Him and Razumdar are two of my favorite characters, so I don't wonder when we're going to see him again, Darian again. That would be cool.
To claim territory in Cyrodiil and the Ruby Throne and our amazing PvP system, slaying dragons in the sandy...
I mean, he said amazing PvP system. I don't really have a leg to stand on with that because I haven't done a whole lot of PvP, but I have not heard stellar things. Like, I haven't heard anybody say that it is decidedly the best PvP system in an MMO. I have heard a lot of complaints from PvPers about it, though. So I don't... Hold on, what was his claim again?
Canyon, Ruby Throne, and our amazing PvP system.
I mean, it can be amazing without being great, technically, right? It could be technically amazing, but not all that, not feel great. So, I guess it really depends on what metric he's using when he says amazing. I think it flows well. But, again, I'm not a huge PvPer, so I don't know how good of a system it is, but when I do it, I like it.
Slaying dragons in the sandy canyons of Elsewhere with Chimera and Abner Tharn. Fencing a fortune and stolen goods at your friendly neighborhood outlaw refuge. And so much more. We take you through all of the lands of Tamriel, filled with memorable characters who return again and again to provide companionship, humor, and drama. Our stories are among the best in the genre, and our content also includes game systems like companions, antiquity.
Stories are some of the best in the genre. Personally, I think that used to be the case. I don't think High Isle was a slam dunk of storytelling. That expansion in particular, I thought was a relative low point, ignoring some of the early game quests for alliances and whatnot. But I do like the antiquity system he just mentioned. Although that is a time sink and a half if ever I've seen one. I have no idea how to get some of those leads.
Tales of Tribute, dungeons.
Tales of Tribute, I like that. Every time I log on, I always make an effort to play at least one Tales of Tribute game before I log off for the day.
PvP, the list goes on and on. With ESO, you can pick and choose what fits your virtual life in Tamriel. And later this year, we'll hit an amazing and important milestone: 10 years in Tamriel. Our history, of course, goes back even farther to ZOS's founding in 2007, and many ESO developers have been with us for 15 years or more. I can't speak of the studio's history without acknowledging
2007 plus 15 years would be about 2022. So, yeah, I would see some employees having stuck around since its inception, namely some of the higher ups. I wonder if he's talking about some of the developers, though. Because if they've got that kind of worker retention, that would be interesting to know.
Acknowledging the profound impact that Robert Altman had on my life and that of everyone at ZOS. As CEO of ZeniMax Media, who passed away in 2021, Robert was a true champion of the game, and he was a friend and mentor to all of us. He is very much missed, but ZOS is stronger because of the foundation he helped build during our formative years. ESO has grown over the years to be 24 million players, including gamers from all over the world.
That's a lot. Assuming that's concurrent players and not just total sub or total accounts, that's a lot. I think it's total accounts though, because if we go to the Steam charts, I'm sure it won't be that high, but it's not something I really want to look into.
Originally in English, French, and German, we now offer localization in Chinese, Japanese, Russian, and Spanish. And ESO developers now...
That localization thing is relatively recent too, because I remember when I first, or around the time the Deadlands DLC came out, there still wasn't any Japanese localization. I don't remember why I know that, but I'm pretty sure that's accurate information.
Stretch from west coast of the USA through Austin, Texas, to our headquarters in Maryland, and eastward to Budapest, Hungary, where we recently opened ZeniMax Online, Hungary. ESO is truly a global phenomenon. Everyone at ZOS considers the ESO community part of the family. It's not just a hashtag. That feeling of...
God, I wish I could go to some of these conventions. They look like a heck of a lot of fun.
Caring and connection begins in our studio, and I'm very proud.
Ooh, you get to see live art, concept art. That would be interesting. I sincerely doubt that was what was being shown, but if that's true, that would be cool to see, like live concept art for the next expansion.
Proud to be part of it. Remember that ESO launched in April 2014, but that was just on PC. It launched on Xbox and PlayStation in June 2015. So, we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary over 15 months in 2024 and 2025. Expect community events around the globe. We announced the first of these already. It's in the Netherlands this coming spring. Thank you to everyone who signed up already. We'll have another large community event in 2025 in the Baltimore, Washington area of the USA to mark the 10th anniversary of ESO's console launch. And a few more...
Baltimore, Washington area, huh? It's closer, but I'd still have to go all the way to Michigan. I don't live that close to Michigan. Oh, geez. Well, guess we'll see where life takes me.
More events sprinkled between them. We will post information on all of our anniversary celebration plans on social media and ElderScrollsOnline.com. The team has prepared special 10-year anniversary rewards for many of our in-game events happening in 2024 and 2025. Some you can start earning right now. Stay tuned for details. We're eager to celebrate and to kick things off in earnest in just a few months. I can't wait to see all of you at the in-person events. And now it's time to look forward to 2024's new content. ESO's newest chapter features everything that makes ESO special, exploring a region of Tamriel well known to Elder Scrolls fans, telling an amazing story that goes deep into the lore of the region, and adding a new gameplay with a system called scribing, which allows players to customize some of their abilities. The chapter is called Gold Road, and it takes place on the borders of Cyrodiil, Gold Coast, and Valenwood. So let's start the show and see all the details with the global premiere of the 2024 ESO Gold Road trailer. Enjoy, and see you in Tamriel.
So, I just felt I needed to pause there because I don't want any strikes or anything. But to comment on what he said, the Colovian Highlands is a very popular area from what I've heard. I haven't completed Oblivion myself yet, but it'll be interesting to actually see what they do with it, given that it's, well, out now, and most diehard fans are probably already out exploring it. But I can't wait to see what it's like, especially given what they're about to talk about with it. I'll save my comments about this until the end. I'd be really interested to know the lore behind these three heroes, because it's never explicitly stated in all of these reveal trailers, but it seems like they went from adversaries to comrades, and I'm not 100% sure where the switch happened. Like, as far as I remember, they weren't involved with anything Blackwood. So the last time they had been seen would be Greymoor, which I believe was just the Nord. And before that it was Elsewhere, which may have been the Breton, but I don't think he was even there. So maybe, no, because, I mean, the Breton was in High Isle, but they all three of them were fighting against the Ascended Lord. And then the High Elf was in the Somerset trailer. Man, I don't remember. Maybe we'll have to do a watch-a-thon of all the trailers, because I'd be interested in piecing together their story as a group. There's Corvusart. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Torvusart, at least. I'm not so sure about the horns. I think the horns are different. That approach was somewhat vampiric. I don't know if that was the intent, but you know, showing up in a cloud of red mist is kind of a vampire thing. that's skin grad, if I'm not mistaken.
What's up, everyone?
Alright. Before Gina gets too far. So when that opens up with who we later learn to be Athelia on the ground, does that mean that she was basically made to be mortal until she regained her Daedric origin or whatever? I wonder if we're gonna even interact with her at all, or if she's gonna be an enemy or what. It's gonna be interesting, because I mean, as I said to a friend when we first learned of all this stuff, I'm not against them adding a new Daedric prince, because I mean, obviously they did that with Oblivion and Jiglag and whatnot, but it's all about how they handle it. So as long as it's handled really well, I think it's gonna be a good expansion. But I mean, only time will tell. And I'll have to get into the story to find out. So, fingers are crossed, though.
Everyone, you just saw the world premiere trailer for our upcoming chapter, The Elder Scrolls Online Gold Road. I'm Gina Bruno, ESO Senior Community Manager, and today I'm joined by The Elder Scrolls Online's own creative director, Rich Lambert.
Hey everyone, I'm thrilled to be back again for this year's ESO Global Reveal, and boy do we have a lot of exciting things to share with you all. The team has been working super hard on 2024's new adventures and features, and it's going to be another amazing year for The Elder Scrolls Online.
Well, the truth is, the team's been working super hard for the past 16 years. And Rich, you and I have actually been here from the very beginning in 2007.
It's wild looking back for sure. I remember the days of being able to fit the entire team into a minivan and all go out to lunch together. A lot has changed since then, and now we're suddenly about to celebrate 10 years of being live, with 40+ major content updates and a community that literally spans the globe. It's amazing how much...
Were we on update 40 by the time this revealed came out? I thought we probably were, but I think we were still on 39.
Without 3 eyes.
Oblivion,
So.
take you.
No, 40 must have just come out. This was like, what, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, something like that? Yeah. So we're getting there.
Much we've done, and it certainly doesn't feel like 16 years have passed already.
And now that we're looking ahead to what's coming in 2024, why don't you start us off with an overview about this year's adventure and story?
Last year, we saw players explore the Talvani Peninsula and Apocrypha zones, and delved into a story surrounding the Prince of Knowledge, Hermaeus Mora, and master the magics of the Arcanist class. This year, we're inviting players to venture into a Colovian region known as the West Weald. And this region spans the western borders of Cyrodiil to the north and the eastern tip of...
Without disclosing too much, I have particular plans that result from the map area that we have been granted access to. I think it's going to be interesting, if for no other reason than because I will find it interesting, but I'm looking forward to streaming that, because it's going to be an exercise.
Valenwood, and many Elder Scrolls players will probably recognize this location from Test 4 Oblivion. In our time, a dense jungle has suddenly appeared overnight along the Valenwood border, and the whole region is suffering from a rise in attacks from a mysterious new kind of Daedra.
So the new zone will be familiar for those of you who played Oblivion, but there's something big going on behind the scenes that's causing all this chaos.
We're doing something we've never done before in ESO, and we're introducing a whole new Daedric Prince.
That is a really big deal.
It is, and we are really excited about it. The Gold Road storyline focuses on the return of a forgotten prince named Athelia, and it was great to be able to work with...
Yeah, they really got to justify Hermaeus Mora's removal of her existence from everybody's memory. and explain why she was inactive for so long, because, well, I don't know, it wasn't quite explained very well, but I don't think Hermaeus Mora sealed her. No, never mind, he did, because he was trying to make everybody forget the event of him sealing her away.
Don't hang back now. I'd like you with
But
me.
yeah, they've got to explain why she's such a threat, because the Prince of Paths, the name alone doesn't sound too threatening, but I've heard some theorizers talking about it, and it sounds like it could be justifiably threatening. So, I mean, only the story can tell, really. So, I'm just hoping it's justified.
BGS to bring our vision for this new power to life.
Sorry.
And we think folks are going to love what we've created. In last year's Necrom chapter, we dropped a major cliffhanger. Mysterious forces discovered the existence of this forgotten Daedric prince, Athelia. In Gold Road, you'll discover that prince is now free, with dire consequences for all of Tamriel. I don't want to go.
I mean, technically did just see her be freed, but are they gonna touch on that in the intro quest? Or is she already gonna have been freed by the time the intro quest that brings us, the player characters, to Gold Road? I don't know. I hope we get to see her be freed. That'd be a cool, if nothing else, cutscene to watch.
Go into too much detail yet because we'll be diving deeper into the story shortly, but this is really big, and we are very excited to see how our community reacts as they learn more about Athelia and her allies.
All right, so we have a new zone and a story about the return of a long-lost Daedric prince, but there's something else arriving with the Gold Road chapter that Matt touched on that our players have been asking about for a long time, and that's scribing.
Yes, and this is definitely something that the community's been asking about for years at this point.
So scribing, what they're alluding to is basically the fact that it's a sort of analog to customizable spells. Now, I looked at the menu yesterday when the expansion dropped on PC. I don't really get it, to be honest. I guess we'll find out what it's like when I actually get to the quest. And speaking of, doing the Scholarium quest line is probably the first thing I'm gonna do, just so that I can get that free mount. Other than that, though,
Don't rush on my account. I'm still
I don't
figuring out how to use
know
this.
how if scribing can really be considered customizable spellcrafting because of how limited it is right now. Maybe they're going to implement some other things in the future that I don't know about. It's entirely possible, but right now, the way it is, it seems like it's just a cosmetic change and nothing else, which is fine, but not entirely what I think people were asking for when they asked for customizable spellcrafting.
This chapter's big new system, scribing, is a way for players to customize their character builds. It's our take on a precursor to the spellcrafting systems from previous Elder Scrolls games, with some tweaks to balance to ensure that it works with our game's combat.
So why don't you talk a little bit about how this system works? What does it actually allow players to do?
It's basically everything I just went over, that he just mentioned, not what he's going to say. Just want to point that out. And yes, this is pre-watched, in case anybody was thinking that I might have too much to say and too much knowledge about something that I'm reacting to for supposedly the first time.
Scribing, players tap into the fundamental elements of magic by unlocking special skills that they can then
That is quite the instrument. I said pre-watched, it's more like pre-listened to. I don't think I saw that before. Is that gonna be like a tool or what? Because there is no skill line prescribing. Unless I just haven't unlocked it yet. Ooh. I didn't think about that. That it's hidden. Ooh, I should have considered that. Okay, well, let's continue.
Customize in many different ways. You'll be able to change things like the way a skill interacts with the world, its unique effects, and more. There's also many ways to customize these unique abilities, allowing players to further tailor their builds to their unique needs. We'll go into a lot more detail on scribing a little bit later, and we'll have a lot more info throughout the year, but we're very excited about this system, and it's really another way players can truly play the way they want to play.
Well, we clearly have a lot to cover throughout the show, so let's dig in. In the past, we've told stories that feature Daedric princes, emperors, and tyrants, heroes, and all sorts of legendary monsters. Since
I am fully anticipating we will have visited every Daedric realm before the game closes down for good. Before they run out of content, we will have stepped foot in every Daedric realm and every location on the continent of Tamriel. Now, whether or not they actually have the technical ability to do something like that is a different matter, but I'm reasonably confident that that's going to be a goal.
our launch in 2014, we've continued to add to ESO's legacy with new stories that build upon and even add to Elder Scrolls lore in all new ways. And this year's tale is no exception. So let's kick things off with the lead for this.
Like the Reach lore. That was something I thought was real cool. All of the lore they added to the Reach folk in the Markarth DLC. Or the lore they added to the Khajiit in Elsewhere. That was something. That was some good stuff.
Zone, Ed Stark, who is going to share more about the new chapter's main storyline, including the Forgotten Prince.
Hello, everyone. I'm absolutely thrilled to talk to all of you about the story and the adventures you'll experience in the new Gold Road chapter. I was the lead for the High Isle and Greymoor chapters, as well as the Murkmire DLC, and I'm having a lot of fun adding to the Elder Scrolls universe.
I gotta be honest, when he said that for the first time, I was a bit skeptical on where this story is gonna go. Because personally, I thought Murkmire was pretty good. I thought Greymoor was pretty meh, middle of the road. And the High Isle writing, all of the environmental storytelling and all of the concepts aside, I thought it was written subpar. Now, that's just a personal preference, and maybe it has nothing to do with his role in those expansions. But that, just putting it out there that I have some reservations about this expansion as a result of his influence in previous expansions. Again, I could be completely wrong. He may have had nothing to do with the writing portion. Just putting it out there.
Every part of Tamriel is unique and has its own emergent storylines, and Gold Road is no different. The Westweald region lies just east of the Gold Coast. Ruled by the Colovian Count Calantius, it is an independent nation allied to the Imperial forces currently occupying nearby Cyrodiil, and it is under attack.
So if he's allied to the Imperial forces of nearby Cyrodiil, and Cyrodiil is currently a contested area between the three alliances, why has he not chosen a faction to ally himself with? He's got the Daggerfall Covenant to the north, the Aldmeri Dominion to the south, and the Pact to the east, but he's still allied with the Imperials in Cyrodiil, even though they don't seem to be a reasonably impactful faction. I'm just hoping, given that he specified that allegiance, it's gonna explain why. Or maybe, you know, it could be like with Elsewhere, we just don't see the Imperials. They're still there. They're still impactful. We just don't see them, because to do so would be impeding on some game lore or something. I don't know.
Sheltering jungles replaced a third of the Westweald seemingly overnight. While the wood elves in the region seem friendly and as bemused by the situation as the displaced Imperials, Count wants to find out what happened and how he can keep from losing any more of his realm. Surprisingly, however, this Dawnwood jungle overgrowth isn't the most pressing concern for you and your fellow adventurers. Laramil the Wise.
I mean, personally, no, never mind, not personally. I can see why the overgrowth wouldn't be important to us as visiting adventurers. But if somebody was like making a character who grew up in this place, that seems like a very important detail. Like, this is not how the nature is supposed to be working here. But let's just ignore it because Hermaeus Mora is calling me to do something else. That doesn't seem like an object. That's probably an irrelevant comment, but you know, just that's where my mind went.
An ally of Hermaeus Mora is back. She's investigating the reappearance of Athelia, the Forgotten Prince, who was introduced at the end of the Necrom chapter. Laramil reveals that scions of Athelia are searching the Westweald for her, wreaking havoc in the region. They believe that the Forgotten Prince had some connection to the Aliads who once dwelt in the ancient ruins scattered throughout the zone.
I mean, I do like that lore integration, that if any peoples were going to have worshipped Athelia as a Daedric Prince, it's gonna be the Aliads, because their culture is so ancient and already so forgotten. Her memory might just be nested in there somewhere for somebody to find. So I like that they use that lore aspect of the Aliads to potentially give her an into the lore of the wider lore of the universe.
These scions are desperate to help Athelia recover her memories and powers and show no mercy to anyone who gets in their way.
Okay, but why though? I hope the story or the two dungeon stories are going to explain why. But if Torvasard was the last Daedra who swore fealty to Athelia, or last Remora rather, to swear fealty to Athelia, where are all these scions coming from and why do they care? Because that was an important detail they actually legitimately mentioned, if you're following along with me in the Necrom story, that Torvasard is the last Remora of his clan, the only one. And until the Thelias are revived, I don't think any more of his kin would be revived. So hopefully that gets explained. We'll see if it gets explained in the dungeons. Hopefully today. I've gotten to the point where I'm waiting till the video's over to fight Thoat. So fingers crossed that doesn't take too long. But yeah, we'll see.
Reality itself is under attack, and no one knows exactly how or why the Forgotten Prince has returned. It's been a very long time in any Elder Scrolls game since we delved into the nature of a new Daedric Prince. What effect will the appearance of this long-forgotten prince have on the Westweald, Tamriel, or Nirn itself?
This might be me looking too deep into things, but how else would we be able to measure the impact her existence or revival would have on Nirn, unless we explored areas of Nirn outside of Tamriel, the continent?
Please don't stand back there.
So I'm sure he just said it to be exaggerative, but it gets my mind working of, oh, is that an innocuous comment, or is that a comment that's going to lead to us seeing Yokeda, Atmora, freaking Akavir? Are we going to be seeing these places, or is it just an innocuous comment? That's where my mind goes. I'm probably looking way too far into things.
How indeed can a Daedric prince be forgotten?
I think that was somewhat addressed in the story of Necrom on how the details are not there. So maybe that's what he's talking about. And hopefully, if that is something that's addressed, they will explain it satisfactorily or in a satisfactory way, because I'm sure it's going to be some mindfucky shit, but yeah, it how she was forgotten was touched upon. So we'll see how they expand upon it in the way he might be alluding to.
More importantly, how can you, the adventurer, counter Athelia's effect on the West Weald?
Do we want to counter her effect? I mean, Hermaeus Mora tells us that her revival, or rather, the events leading up to her revival, have the potential of destroying Apocrypha and Nirn. But that's only one, albeit omnipotent, entity's perception on things. Could it be that it's just not that serious?
Well, I'm not going to tell you. At least not yet. You have to play Gold Road to find out. But don't worry. In addition to the eccentric Laramil the Wise, you have some new and returning allies to help you unravel these mysteries. There's Baragon, ex-adventurer and brother to Evely Sharparrow.
He needed to mention that he was the brother, that this character is the brother to Evely Sharparrow, because nobody was going to remember that. I played Blackwood earlier, maybe mid 2013. I didn't remember that.
And Tribune Alia Idolus, a brash Clovian centurion working for Count Calantius. Outside the main story,
hold on. Is he saying that that lady is a familiar character? What was her name?
Brother to Evely Sharparrow. And Tribune Alia Idolus, a brash Clovian centurion working for Count Calantius.
I don't remember her either. Assuming she's another recurring character, I don't remember her at all.
Outside the main story, we're bringing back the vampire Fenorian of the Raven Watch.
I remember him. I like Finn.
Khajiit investigator Mizik Thunderboots.
Remember Mizik as well. When they released that detail, I was like, oh, that's why they added him to one of the daily check-ins for the the login bonuses. It's because he's coming back. I hope. I mean, he was a bit of a doof in Elsewhere, so I hope he's not gonna be quite so inept in Gold Road, because I want him to actually be something other than a gag character. But I mean, it's fine if he is. I just don't particularly enjoy the idea.
And a few other fan favorite allies to also help you in your journeys. There's political intrigue rivaling the tales told in Orsinium and High Isle.
I'm not sure the intrigue in Orsinium or High Isle were all that fantastic. I mean, Orsinium was a good expansion, but I don't think it was based on... I don't think it was good because it was super, like, politically stimulating. And so I don't know if that intrigue is really there. Especially since, no, I mean, I'm having a hard time remembering Orsinium because I did it like a year or two ago. But High Isle.
Please don't stand back there. Daedra get upset when you.
The majority of the intrigue from High Isle was finding out who the Ascendant Lord was. And granted, some people found that out way in advance. I'm pretty sure I figured it out before I even went to Galen, that the person who is the Ascendant Lord was the Ascendant Lord, but I'm pretty sure there were people who figured it out as soon as they met him in game. So I don't know how well the intrigue, as he put it, stacks up in those two expansions. And if this expansion is supposed to rival those in intrigue,
Stand by me when you want me to call on Thoet.
I don't know if that really speaks to it or not, but maybe I'm also misinterpreting what intrigue means, so that's a possibility.
Supernatural threats on the same scale as Somerset and Greymore. Assaults on the west.
Supernatural threats akin to Somerset and Greymore. Well, the supernatural threat in Somerset was Daedric princes and a Daedric alliance specifically. And Greymore was some vampire stuff with void things, oddly enough. Shoot. Yeah, it was primarily just vampire stuff. So we'll have to see what he was talking about with that, because the cases he mentioned are very wide. It's a very broad brush.
Wield as powerful as any fiery dragon attack in Elsewhere or Daedric Dark Anchor invasions from the base game long ago.
Now, see, that one catches my attention, because I liked the Dark Anchors for the first, like, 100 of them I did. And then the dragons I thought were just cool. Just plain cool. They took the rule of cool and they ran with it. I liked that. So I guess we'll have to see what the quote-unquote incursions are and how fun they are compared to those.
Players can choose how they progress the main story of the Gold Road as well. There's a non-linearity to the questline similar to that presented in Hrothgar and Necrom.
He basically just brought up Orsinium again. Non-linearity to the quest line. No, I don't think that's accurate. I think the quests are pretty linear. And to be honest, it's an MMO. That's a good thing that the quests are linear. Because if it's too open-ended and you can do too many things, that's gonna get the completionists all up in a tizzy. And I know that as a completionist, that I would not like it if there was something I was gonna miss out on by making a particular dialogue choice that involved like a piece of gear or some other item that's significant or something. But I'm pretty sure both Hrothgar and Necrom's main storylines, at least, are very linear in concept. He might be talking more about exploratory, so the quest takes you so many places around the zone, in which case, heck yeah, because they've been doing really good with that in the last few expansions. I don't remember Hrothgar because it was so long ago with Orsinium, but I really liked that the quests took us all over the map. I really like that.
You'll have to follow the threads to see just where they take you. And over everything is the threat of the forgotten Daedric Prince and her minions.
Again, with the minions thing, unless Torvasard remembered where everybody was sealed except for the prince herself, I don't know why there is all of a sudden more enemies that are affiliated with Ithalia. They will have to explain that.
There's something for everyone.
And again, hopefully it's explained in the dungeons that were released with the Scions of Ithelia DLC.
All along the Gold Road. I'm looking forward to seeing how you fare. Good luck and happy hunting in the Westweald.
Since ESO's launch, we've added a ton of new areas for players to explore across all corners of Tamriel and even the realms of Oblivion.
I hope they continue to add many more because I want that map full. I want to be able to visit every section of that map of Tamriel. I know the console people will probably not be able to handle it because that was the big thing they were trying to deal with the Arcanist,
A drunken Nord
because I didn't know how to get that data to work on consoles, but
says, this is the dragon
I seriously want to be able to traverse
That's a duck,
everywhere.
you idiot. The Nord says, quiet you. I was talking to the duck.
Ed just shared some details about the story in Westweald. So now let's learn about how the team brought this space to life. To tell us more about this world you can explore in the latest chapter, we've invited ESO's art director to share more about this colorful but chaotic part of Tamriel.
Hey everybody, I'm CJ Greb, art director for the Elder Scrolls Online, and I'm pleased to be able to share with you more about the Elder Scrolls Online Gold Road's unique zone, the Westweald. For those of you already familiar with Southeast Cyrodiil, this will be the first time you can return to this bountiful part of Tamriel since the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion way back in 2006. The new zone features 3 unique biomes, each with their own distinctive look and feel. In the southeast,
Let's go back there.
there's 3 unique biomes, each with their own distinctive look.
Okay, so the Colovian Highlands is a particular district. I don't know why Gold Road is so far to the east, because I thought the whole point of the Gold Road was because it was the road from mainland Cyrodiil to the Gold Coast. It looks like it's going to be the road stretching from Craglorn to Reaper's March, though.
Please come closer.
So maybe I don't know enough about the lore / ecosystem implied within Elder Scrolls. Because, yeah, I'll just leave it there. I'm pretty sure maybe I'm misunderstanding something. Or maybe it doesn't matter. That is entirely possible. Maybe it just does not matter. Dawnwood, though. I'm presuming that's where the majority of this whole Valenwood infection, I guess you could call it, invasion maybe, is going to be taking place. And then the Colovian Highlands, I can see being a lot of people's favorite place if they made it look very pleasing.
Look and feel. In the southeast lies the Gold Road, a temperate environment similar to that found on the Gold Coast. It is home to the region's capital city, Skingrad, the bustling center of the zone and linchpin for the Colovian Imperials who call the Westweald home.
Okay, so it's because the environment is so similar to the Gold Coast. That's why it's called the Gold Road.
Towards the southwest, you can find the Dawnwood. Formerly part of the Westweald, this area is now home to the encroaching jungles of nearby Valenwood. In this part of the zone, you'll discover a dense wilderness climate inhabited by advancing wood elves from the settlement of Vashabar. In the north of the Westweald lies the Colovian Highlands, a mountainous region that is home to an imperial settlement and numerous Ayleid ruins. The Highlands' rocky soil and dry climate is ideal for the region's famous vineyards. When designing this new zone, the team wanted to capture a region undergoing a dramatic change. And generally, we try to make every zone in ESO feel unique. So much.
See, that's a double-edged sword, trying to make every zone feel unique, because at a certain point, you also have to make them cohesive with each other. Because this is a world. It's not isolated areas in a vast, I guess, series of landscapes. Like, it's not sets of islands that are all supposed to be unique from each other. It's a foresty area connected to a jungle connected to a desert, right? So you got to kind of have that transition from dry to humid, and from hot to, or rather unreasonably hot to tropically warm kind of deal,
I'm going
right?
to use this mimic, I'd like not to be alone when I do it.
I don't know if that made sense. I hope that made sense. Press the wrong button.
So that a player can instantly recognize what zone they're in merely by looking around.
Right. So, but if you want to be able to have your player recognize what zone they're in merely by looking around, making the zones unique is a good way of doing it. But that's not entirely what they did with the Alliance zones, because like Glenumbra and Stormhaven are very samey.
Please don't stand back.
Rivenspire is a bit different because it's more dark, it's more brown, it's less vibrant. Then Hrothgar is such a shift in temperature. Goes from like a plains, or not a mountainy plains, because that doesn't make any sense, but like a mountain valley to an icy landscape as you go further north. So I mean, there's, I guess you could say that transition makes it unique. But I mean, then if we go to Elsewhere, it's the only difference you can tell between Elsewhere and the Alakir Desert is that Elsewhere is a lot more forested in many places. It's got, well, I shouldn't have said that. No, that's not quite accurate, because it's a lot more foresty. It's not very deserty at all. It's mostly just the that one middle area. What's it called? I'm looking it up on the map. It might take a hot second. The place underneath the Stitches, that ravine is very, it has a deserty feel to it, and things north
Would you mind moving forward?
of it,
I'm not very practiced when it comes to mimics.
going towards Reaper's March, also feel a bit deserty. So I mean, like, Northern Elsewhere, I guess, is a good example of what I'm talking about, and that is cohesive with Reaper's March while also being its own thing, you know. God, I need to revisit these places before I start talking about them like I'm an expert.
Combining these ideas led us to paint the biomes in the bright colors of seasonal change. Highlights of orange, red, and yellow punctuate the Westweald, giving the entire region an autumnal feel. Classic Colovian architecture inspired many of the zone's structures. However, the Colovian Imperials of the Westweald are wealthy and cosmopolitan, so the art team imbued some high-end motifs and designs throughout. Although this of course changes the further from Skingrad you travel. As you explore the zone's rolling hills, rocky crags, bustling vineyards, you'll encounter many Ayleid ruins of various sizes and shapes, and have an opportunity to delve deeper into this part of Tamriel's ancient history. We got,
See, like not dungeon, but I'm presuming delve
Step up here when you're ready.
that they just showed off. That would be a really good place to showcase the differences of locality.
Let's have a little fun here as we consider these Ayleid ruins less spoiled than other similar locations you may already have visited.
Why would they be less spoiled? Is the Westweald that uninhabitable that it is less explored than Ayleid ruins in Black? I don't think so.
Don't rush on my account.
I guess we'll have to see.
Figuring out.
As a result, there are structures and architectural pieces of Ayleid culture you've never seen before. Speaking of things you've never seen before, the dense, humid forests of neighboring Valenwood seem to have taken over a significant portion of the Westweald practically overnight.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see why that's happening and what we're going to be able to do about it. Because that seems like a fun thing to explore. Like, oh no, the jungle is encroaching. It wasn't like this like 2 months ago. What are we going to do about it? And then in comes the player character with our friends, and we're like, oh, we can handle this. We'll figure it out.
Please come closer. Though
I mean, it's probably not gonna be how it goes. It's probably gonna, you know what? We might run into Gabrielle actually. I'm talking about out loud about it. We're probably gonna run into Gabrielle, who's trying to figure this out because it's magical in nature.
This consumption of traditional Colovian territory is cause of some concern for the Imperials, as you might imagine.
Oh yeah. I've been looking at that house. If my house got overrun with nature like that, I would be very concerned.
Even more alarming is the Wildburn, a volatile area that separates the Dawnwood from the Colovian Highlands and Gold Road.
So, explaining exactly what's going on with that is going to be interesting, because when you actually are in game and you open the map, or at least if you're in the zone and you open the map, you can see the wood burn, or the wild burn, or whatever you called it just now. And it's interesting. It is quite the it covers quite the area, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Oh, maybe it does though. Hold on.
If I'm going to use this mimic, I'd like not to be
Oops,
alone.
I muted it. Sorry.
Even more alarming is the Wildburn, a volatile area that separates the Dawnwood from the Colovian Highlands and Gold Road, comprised of sickened, magically twisted land and even more volatile beasts.
See, that's kind of what I was not hoping he would say about it, because it kind of looks on the map like it was a controlled burning to help stop the spread, almost. Here, let me show you my add-on. I have an add-on that lets me see it when I'm not, or lets me see the map when I'm not in the zone myself if I zoom in on it. So let me show you that. See, the wild burn is like this brown, dark gray-ish area here, and it kind of looks like it was maybe a controlled burning to help keep the encroaching forest or jungle at bay. But apparently it's magical in nature, so perhaps I'm right about that whole Gabrielle idea.
While the land itself is changing, it is also under attack from a host of new, unfamiliar foes. Daedra, never before seen in the Elder Scrolls, roam the countryside, including Shardborn and aspects of Athalia that herald from the realm known as Mirrormore. And if all of that...
Why are there mirror Manticora? The Manticora were a creation by the Serpent, or the followers of the Serpent, to create the ultimate creature. So why are there Shardborn Manticora? That will need explaining. Unless, honestly, if all of these mirror creatures are just supposed to be, as you know, mirrors are reflections of our world, that means there's a lot more Manticora than we thought, or that we saw in Cragmore.
Wasn't enough. The Wildburn has taken to magically corrupting the indigenous beasts of the land, resulting in danger around every turn. In the Westweald, we've created a beautiful world in flux, besieged by change itself. It's Imperials meet Wood Elves, meet Oblivion, and it's a world unlike anything we've created previously. We can't wait for you to explore it.
Let's just hope they didn't idea bloat this thing, because if that, the way he's describing, let me get it off that frame. There we go. The way he was describing it almost makes it seem like they were pulling themselves in too many different directions. So let's just hope that's not what's happening. And I'm looking at the time. I've got like 20 minutes left until I was gonna end this stream. So I'm gonna finish kicking, or I'm gonna take care of Thoat Replicanum and then finish the video.
Thoat Replicanum, I call to you. Obey!
You are an engine already red. This is who's been sent to kill me.
All those books teaching nothing?
Yelling that you're a distraction while being distracting is probably not what you want to do, because it tells the opponent that they're paying attention to you is a waste of their time. And if you're a distraction, you probably want to maximize on their attention. Oh, interesting. Those globs are really weak, or you can actually harm them by pulling them into these shards. No, they're just really weak.
I want to savor this fight. Your attacks grow dull.
Or trying not to do that. Let her pop out those projectiles.
Come this, your reflection. My other versions carry on. Repetition is good, but change
Okay,
is down.
2%, and it's dead. Awesome.
To on!
Sweetness.
Killed her. This version.
And there's some shoulders.
In this archive, there could be hundreds of Thoat Replicanum. When you're finished here,
Energize
be
this.
back where we met. We should talk about what happened. There are more malligraphies and other Thoat Replicanum in the archive.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave now, because I was just going to do the daily, as I said. Turn it in.
Another Thoat Replicanum gone. I shouldn't be impressed, but I am. There are more versions of Thoat roaming the Infinite Archive. I'd understand if you want to keep hunting them, but I do have your payment.
I'll take my payment.
You did great work in setting the Infinite Archive to rights. The next time you want to travel these halls, I would be more than happy to pay you for your skills again.
Complete the quest. Alright. Eat that. And open that. Mark these treasures as junk. Okay. And now back to the video.
I always love when we can share behind the scenes info about all the research and care that goes into creating a new zone. Rich, why don't you talk a little bit about what else players will encounter in Westfield?
In addition to the main storyline, the zone contains new delves and public dungeons to explore, side quests to experience, and
So, new chapters features. A lot of that is to be expected. I don't know what the and more is supposed to be, but aside from the scribing system, all of that is pretty standard.
world bosses to contend with. Everything you would expect from a chapter. There's also an all-new 12-player trial to challenge your group, and the introduction of a new type of world event.
And of course, there's...
I guess the more could be the world bosses that he just mentioned, but again, that's pretty standard.
all kinds of rewards that you can find in the new zone, including new item sets to loot and craft, unique collectibles to unlock, and special antiquities to scry and dig up, and a lot more.
And of course, that's all in addition to the new scribing system.
That's right. In previous chapters, we've added new classes like the Necromancer and most recently the Arcanist. We've also added new gameplay systems that we continually update, such as treasure hunting with antiquities, our deck building card game, Tales of Tribute.
I'm not sure they've done a whole lot of updating with antiquities. I'm pretty sure that's stayed relatively consistent since it launched in Greymoor. And the only reason I say that is because I joined, or rather, I shouldn't say I joined because I technically started back in like 2017, but I picked the game back up again like 2022, 2021, and which was like right after the Greymoor chapter released and right before Blackwood released. And it hasn't changed a lot since then. I'm not entirely sure what kind of updating she's talking about. Now, the Tribute game, they've made a lot of changes to that. A lot of them have been retroactive changes to certain patron decks. Namely the Crows. The Blackfeather Court deck has been probably the most changed deck. Probably mostly by virtue of it being one of the oldest, but also because a lot of the cards were a bit overpowered when it was first introduced, and as they've been adding more patrons, it's been needing to be adjusted. So they have been adjusting that with every major update. So that system's been getting regular updates, but I don't know about the antiquity system.
Even our housing and furnishing system, and of course companion system.
Okay, I don't know enough about housing and furnishing to say whether or not they've been updating that. As for the companion system, I don't know if they're counting adding new companions as updating it. If they are, then they haven't been, or then they have been. If they're not, then I don't think they have been updating it. But I could be wrong. I might not be seeing the minute changes they've made since releasing them in Blackwood.
System, which allows you to bring an ally to fight alongside with you. This time with Gold Road, we're adding a new way to further tweak your builds just how you want them. We know everyone's been waiting patiently for more information on this new system, so let's kick it over to Kira to explain exactly how it works.
I believe she's alluding to the already mentioned scribing system.
Play Your Way is one of Elder Scrolls Online's biggest pillars, and we're always looking to give our players even more ownership over their characters and their skills. For scribing, our system focus was around roleplay and choice. We wanted to give our players the power to customize skills to enhance their roleplay and have more agency in choosing and creating those skills that are right for them. With scribing, we've created a new ability for every weapon skill line, and a few more. Each of these new...
Yeah, I don't know how those new abilities are going to be integrated yet. They're in what is effectively its own little menu when you open up the skills menu. Like, it's got its own tab, or scribing does. Scribing has its own tab, and I still do not know how those skills I put in air quotes, are implemented. It's not made clear just by looking at the menu, and maybe that's intentional, so maybe I should shut up, but just figured I'd put that out there.
Skills, or grimoires, has customizable elements that you can swap out to suit your needs.
That would be why I haven't explored it enough.
While maintaining a fun and balanced experience. Every grimoire has a base function, the thing it always does. For example, the new bow grimoire, Vault, has you shoot the ground with an enchanted arrow, creating an area of effect, and then backflip out of danger, enabling a quick, tactical fire and escape ability. But you can personalize it from here.
That showcase was a little bit too perfectly timed. I'm not gonna hold that against her because I'm sure, I mean, it was just for studio drama or not drama, but like that cinematic flair. But there's almost no way you would be able to see a spike trap before it happens and use the ability before the spike goes out. I mean, I say that and then watch me be proven wrong because somebody actually has the reflexes for it. But I mean, that would be impressive if they could actually pull that off without knowing ahead of time.
Every scribe skill also has 3 script slots, a primary, secondary, and tertiary, which allow you to change the ability's specifics. Want to double down on poison or bleed? Set one of those as the primary script of Vault, and now that's the damage type of its AoE. Primaries determine the
Bleed AoE sounds interesting. I don't know if they can actually implement that because I don't think they have one. That would be interesting.
The main effect of the skill and its resource cost. But perhaps you're more of a ranged healer character. Keep it ally focused and customize Vault.
See, having your bow be what you use to heal your allies makes almost zero. Actually, no, I shouldn't say almost. It makes absolutely 0 sense. Why would I walk closer to an enemy to heal my ally when I could stay at a distance and heal them from there? Now, if it's a stamina ability and you're just out of magicka, that would make sense. So maybe it's a very niche use case for a flex spot on a bar or something, but I don't see how having a healing aspect on a bow ability will help otherwise.
With a heal primary and add either a heal over time or stamina recovery secondary for any allies in that area of effect.
I take it back. If it's stamina recovery, that would be really useful for a trial composition, because you could use that Vault ability to give all of your melee DPS extra stamina so that they can do more damage. Or if you get to choose where the AoE goes, like you do with Eruption and Volley, that would be useful because you could give it to your tank. So I retract my earlier statement.
Secondaries are about individualizing that skill to better match with your build or roleplay. This is where we have more unique effects that tie into the identity of the parent skill line. For example, a unique bow secondary gives the player a stack of the Hawkeye bonus, increasing damage on...
I've never heard of the Hawkeye bonus. I don't know what that is. I'm sure she's explaining it right now, but I think that might be a new augmentation or shoot, what do they call it? Whatever heroism is. I think that might be a new one of those status effect buff. Yeah.
Unique bow secondary gives the player a stack of the Hawkeye bonus, increasing damage on their other bow abilities for a short duration. Finally, you're able to add a buff or debuff to Vault as its tertiary effect. Perhaps minor maim, minor expedition, or minor vulnerability. That is a lot of ways to customize.
Okay, so Hawkeye must be a stackable thing then, because if the buff is the tertiary, it must be a stackable thing.
just this skill, and we have even more scripts and combinations to be revealed in the future. But scribing isn't just a system for tinkering with skills. It's also an exploration into the ancient origins of magic, following the legacy and discovering the secrets of the mage who first learned to manipulate those energies. You'll need...
Are we gonna learn who that mage is? It better not be Shalador, because I'm pretty sure Shalador was far from the first mage. It would probably have to be an Ayleid mage, which would bring the Ayleid tie-in full circle, I suppose. Well, I mean, like I said, the first thing I'm going to do is the scribing stuff for the mount, so I guess we'll find out in that quest line.
To own the Gold Road chapter to unlock the system. One more thing. When we were deep into this customization headspace, we loved the idea of having our skill visuals better reflect our players' roleplay goals, and perhaps feel a bit fresh if they've been playing for a while. When Gold Road and Scribing launch, we'll also be adding a select number of skill styles. These styles are color variants of popular abilities from weapon, guild, and world skills. Like Wall of Elements will have a new purple version, Trap Beast, orange, and Mage Light, a green option, so that when you equip those abilities, you'll be able to...
Sorry, keep messing with the video size. The change in color is a neat idea. It is not expansive enough to be an RP option yet. If that, I'm pretty sure that's not something that's too contentious. Pretty sure that's fairly obvious. They do not have currently enough cosmetic fooling around, as it were, to make it fully customizable to anybody's RP or roleplay. Like a purple Wall of Elements. Who wants that? That's got to be a niche desire, if a desire at all, right? Or maybe I'm just not in the right circle, so maybe it's not for me, which, I mean, is perfectly fine. I just don't understand it, really. Why purple for Wall of Elements? Why orange for Trap Beast? I mean, unless it's supposed to be a holy Trap Beast, but then why not make it gold or yellow? So I don't know. Oh shit. Completely used the wrong. Anyway, back to the video.
Select which version you want to see. By the way, in Gold Road, all of these skill styles will be earnable as in-game rewards. We have a lot more planned for skill styling in the updates after the chapter 2. We can't wait to share more about scribing and styling with the ESO community in the coming months, and see what new metas, builds, and more come out. See you soon.
Yeah, I don't know if I like how meta-defining some of these scribing things are supposed to or intended to be. They might not be intended to be meta-defining at all, but they may end up becoming meta-defining depending on how influential they are. And I personally don't know if I like that idea, because it means I would have to... I mean, I don't know. I was gonna say have to change some things based on what's best, not versus what I like, but I've already done that with my tanking setup, so I guess that's not really an argument. I don't know. I guess I just don't want to feel like I've been set back. If that makes sense. Like, I just got my tanking setup all good to go in the last like year and a half. I don't currently have the transmute crystals to make a whole new set of stuff at legendary item quality. So maybe that's where I'm coming from. Maybe that's the perspective I'm using when I say that I don't know how I like the influence scribing will have. But I also don't know yet what influence it will have. So I could just be getting ahead of myself here.
Stingy customers
Which is
are the best
probably
customers.
the most
Oh,
likely
but
answer.
not stingy with us.
Scribing looks like it has the potential to really change the way our players play the game.
We definitely believe it will, and scribing gives our players a level of flexibility with their builds they've never seen before in ESO. The new customizable abilities can be used by any class, allowing players to maximize an aspect of their build or perhaps give them a new way to fill a gap. And the system also provides a brand new avenue to customize their visuals too. We know just how important fashion is to our community.
Well, the good news is you won't have to wait too long to play because scribing arrives with the Elder Scrolls Online Gold Road on June 3rd for PC and Mac and June 18th.
That was yesterday for anybody on PC that is watching and has yet to log in.
For Xbox and PlayStation consoles, and it's available to pre-purchase now. You can visit ElderScrollsOnline.com for more details. Now, as many of you watching might expect, this chapter isn't the only major release in 2024.
There is a lot coming this year. And we're kicking things off in March with Update 41 and our newest Dungeon DLC pack.
So that dungeon DLC pack that he just mentioned is the dungeons I was initially planning to run today, if we had the time. It is looking like we will not. I will have to end the stream after this reaction, so sad times there, but hey, there's always next time.
Which includes 2 new dungeons, Oathsworn Pit and Bedlam Vale. These 2 dungeons will have you explore a training ground for the followers of Malakath and a secret vault within the demi-realm of Maelstrom. Both dungeons...
See, those are both interesting concepts, and I am tremendously looking forward to seeing how they integrate to the whole Ithalia Necrom storyline thing that's going on right now.
Dungeons help set the stage for the upcoming chapter release and storyline. These dungeons will be available in normal and veteran modes and have their own veteran hard mode difficulties with all the unique rewards you'd expect, including new item sets and collectibles. And as all
Okay, a Myrgaunt with an axe. That sounds absurd. And I can't wait to see it. Their own hard modes, though. Is that something that is unexpected at this point that he felt he needed to point out? He already said everything associated within. And we don't usually have any dungeons that don't have a hard mode, so are they planning to do dungeons without hard modes in the future? Some of these innocuous comments get my brain thinking in a way I'm sure is not helpful or otherwise entirely irrelevant.
Always with these DLCs, these new challenges can be purchased in the in-game Crown Store, or they come free as part of ESO Plus.
If you want to first look at these new dungeons, be sure and tune in to our next ESO live stream as we'll be joined by lead encounter designer Mike Finnegan to share all the details about this upcoming dungeon DLC.
That's not all we have going throughout 20.
I'm pretty sure I missed that stream because of either school or work, because I think they were giving away a special emote that was like eating grapes or something, and I do not have that emote, so I'm pretty sure I missed out on that. Sad times.
24 either. Update 43, which is scheduled to arrive in August, will be another base game update similar to what we did in 2023, and that includes a host of bug fixes and quality of life improvements, with some pretty exciting features, including something housing related. And finally, Update 44 will close the year out by introducing 2 new in-game companions, and something we're not quite ready to reveal yet.
Hold on. Did I just gloss over the housing feature or QOL stuff and bug fixes? first look live stream.
ESO live stream, as we'll be joined by lead encounter designer Mike Finnegan to share all the details about this upcoming dungeon DLC.
Right.
That's not all we have going throughout 2024 either. Update 43, which is scheduled to arrive in August, will be another base game update similar to what we did in 2023, and that includes a host of bug fixes and quality of life improvements.
Okay, so he kind of, I mean, it wasn't a very long thing to talk about in general, but yeah, it was kind of glossed over a bit. Yeah, so interesting. I'm pretty sure around Q3 of 2023 is when they released Infinite Archive. So is he just talking about it's going to be updates along the vein of the updates they released all year long 2023, where it was a significant majority of stuff that was quality of life updates? Or is he saying that there's going to be something else to the grandiosity of Infinite Archive that they're going to be releasing in quarter? Because on the roadmap, it just says quality of life improvements and bug fixes. So I hope, and the only reason I hope this is because for any new players, there's enough content already that's going to last them the year. So I hope they mean it is the Q3 will be entirely concentrated on bug fixes, quality of life improvements, and that third thing that's
With some pretty exciting features, including something housing related. And
right, the housing stuff. I hope it's not going to be too big of an update to the scale of Infinite Archive. I hope it is just a lot of quality of life stuff, because I mean, like, personally, if they could make outfit slots and armory slots account wide, that would be a huge quality of life improvement, because then people will no longer have to buy more than 5 per character to get the same number of slots on all their characters. In my opinion, that's kind of BS, because I'm sure there's a way to track that. I mean, there has to be. There's a way to track how many slots you've got. So if they can make a lot of things account wide, why not make that account wide? So I hope that comes in one of the quality of life improvements. I have my doubts that it will, and for now that's fine. I'm still a relatively fresh player. I've only been playing for the last 3 years or so. But I really hope they focus on quality of life improvements and not something to the scale of Infinite Archive. Just to reiterate that point.
And finally, Update 44 will close the year out by introducing 2 new in-game companions, and something we're not quite ready to reveal yet, but to all our PvP-minded players, you might want to pay particular attention to this update.
I'm thinking they might not want to reveal it just yet because they haven't completely solidified what they're going to be doing with it. I mean, obviously this was released how long ago? 4 months ago, so by now they've probably figured it out, what they're going to be doing with that update. The fact that they're releasing the companions in Q4 tells me personally that they are hoping the current companions will give people enough things to do before the release of the 2 new ones, which I personally think is true, because I started a bit late, and granted I go pretty hard about leveling I'm pretty sure I power leveled my Miri. So not everybody's like me, which means they won't catch up as fast. So I hope that's the reason they held off on giving people 2 more companions. Otherwise, I don't know why they're holding off. Because in all previous expansions, and granted there's only been 3 so far with companions, but still, with all 3 of them, they released them right out of the gate. So I'd be really interested to either know the reason for it, or just have it explained on some level.
Well, you'll definitely want to keep an eye out for more information on our plans as the year progresses. Okay, we've gone over so much already, but as with any major chapter release, there's a ton of in-game rewards you can get when you pick up Gold Road. Let's find out more about the various editions and pre-purchase rewards for the Elder Scrolls Online Gold Road with community managers Jess and Kevin.
Hi everyone, I'm Jess Folsom, ESO's lead community manager, and I'm joined by my fellow community manager, Kevin Boley. We're here to tell you a little more about the new Gold Road chapter, its additions, and pre-purchase rewards.
Thanks, Jess, and hey everyone. As mentioned, the Elder Scrolls Online Gold Road arrives this summer on PC and Mac, and on Xbox and PlayStation consoles. However, you can pre-purchase the chapter right now on ElderScrollsOnline.com and unlock in-game items.
Obviously, it's no longer available for pre-purchase, and any pre-purchase items are also no longer available. They may return when the expansion collector's edition is put onto the Crown Store, but that is going to be far into the future, or rather, next year at the release of the next expansion.
Which we'll cover in just a minute. But first, let's talk about the different versions of Gold Road.
Right. Depending on your history with the Elder Scrolls Online, there's bound to be an edition of Gold Road that suits you. If you're an existing player, the upgrade versions may be just right.
The whole versions thing, I'm with a lot of people, and I'm not a huge fan of gatekeeping particular rewards behind pre-purchases or deluxe purchases, but I've resigned to the fact that that's a thing and that a lot of people will, and so I have assimilated to that idea, or not idea, but that
cities are as alive, fickle, and uncertain as people.
Behavior, I guess. I've assimilated to that behavior.
Give you gifts.
I did pre-purchase. I have the mount. I have the pet. I got all of the fancy stuff in buying the deluxe edition, so, you know. Full disclosure.
If you're a new or returning player, the collection might be a good fit. It includes the ESO base game, all 7 previous chapters, good fit.
Be just right.
If you're a new or returning player, the collection might be a good fit. It includes the ESO base game, all 7 previous chapters, and the new Gold Road chapter at launch. That means the collection will allow you to begin your adventures in Tamriel right now, and play the new chapter once it launches.
Both the Gold Road upgrade and collection are also available in deluxe editions, which includes a bounty of additional in-game items themed around the Westweald and Skingrad regions, including a unique pet, memento, outfit style, emote pack, and first of its kind mount, all of which are granted at chapter launch.
As mentioned,
whichever edition of Gold Road you choose, there are several pre-purchase rewards you can unlock. These include a striking new costume, pet, and crown crate delivered at launch, and instant in-game access to the spectacular wolf mount. For a limited time, if you pre-purchase Gold Road, you'll get instant access to this matching wolf pup pet, so don't miss out.
You can pre-purchase the Elder Scrolls Online Gold Road right now on elderscrollsonline.com or select retailers for PC and Mac, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Of course, we have a lot of exciting releases, in-game events, and community fun lined up for the Elder Scrolls Online between now and chapter launch 2.
You'll be able to explore 2 new dungeons launch.
So, I kind of was only half paying attention to that. Let me go back for a second. The pre-purchase pet.
Purchase the Elder Scrolls Online Gold Road right now on elderscrollsonline.com.
Right. Different storefronts, Steam, Epic.
Between now and chapter launch 2.
You'll be able to explore 2 new dungeons launching along with Update 41. You can get a first look at these new dungeons and Update 41 by helping us test it all on the PC.
As mentioned earlier, those were the dungeons I was planning to run today and will not be doing.
PC and Mac public test server in just a few days. Then, this spring, ESO will introduce the prologue quest for Gold Road. This free quest line sets up the events of the upcoming chapter and is available to anybody who owns a copy of the Elder Scrolls Online.
If you'd like to check.
And that quest he just mentioned is currently available for any who are in Stone Falls. And one second. We'll be able to recognize this location. This is Mournhold. The Way Shrine is right over there. The quest is available right here.
Fate summons you, champion. Will you answer its call?
What did I miss?
Yep. So that's that prologue quest.
I must finish this.
If it wasn't obvious, all of those have oh shoot, I forgot to put the thing back up. I am so sorry. Anyway, this is the graphic they were using for all of those events. Obviously they have already passed. While I have it paused, I'm going to mess with stuff some more. And there it goes. Okay. That should be it.
In Glory Celebration, you can earn the Moloch Ball Illusion Imp pet, as well as its morphs over the course of 2024. It's the perfect companion to get you in the celebratory mood as we head into the incredible 10th anniversary celebration for the Elder Scrolls Online. To learn more about this year's morphing collectible, check out our preview article on the official ESO website. We've grown in so many ways since ESO first launched. With international community managers across 15 unique territories and 7 officially supported languages, this massive celebration of ESO and its community is our biggest one yet. And it will include many in-person events around the world.
I am so sorry for that lag, everybody. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, basically as she's saying, this 10th year anniversary is a pretty big deal right now in ESO. It is also part of why I decided to start streaming my questing through Necrom, because I wanted to help celebrate, and I will continue to do so with my questing through Gold Road in future streams. Let's finish this off. There's only 2 minutes left.
As Matt mentioned earlier, the fun kicks off with our first in-person event in Amsterdam, Netherlands, and continues all the way into 2025 with our largest in-person event in the US yet. We hope to see you at one of them. Check Elder Scrolls.
And depending on the position I'm in, I might be able to attend the one in Maryland. We'll see.
Online.com for the details on our upcoming Q1 Dungeon DLC, the in-game events, and our 10th anniversary plans. We have big things ahead.
We can't wait for you to join us as we celebrate 10 amazing years of the Elder Scrolls Online together.
All right, so let's recap. We've revealed ESO's upcoming chapter, The Elder Scrolls.
It looks like the rest of the minute and a half is going to be recap. I'm gonna skip to the last 30 seconds just to see. You know what? I'll skip to the last minute to make sure that I'm not missing anything.
Starting with the ESO 10-year celebration in Amsterdam this spring. Make sure to RSVP if you haven't already done so. From all of us here at ZeniMax Online Studios, thank you for watching. Keep an eye out on our social channels and ElderScrollsOnline.com for more information on everything we've covered today. And don't forget to tune in next week for a first look at Update 41. We can't wait to share more details with you on the upcoming Gold Road chapter, anniversary celebration, and more later this year.
Thanks again for joining us today, and we'll see you all next time.
And they will likely have another stream closer to when quarter 3 launches. Alrighty. Well, that was the video. This is the pet they were talking about. I'm really looking forward to doing some Gold Road stuff. The next stream will be the dungeons. I'm planning to solo them in normal, so you know, trial and error will be fun. I don't anticipate those taking the entire stream time. So I'm hoping to get into the prologue quest in the same stream. We will see. I make no promises. The next stream, though, will be 2 weeks from today, as unfortunately I have a lot of stuff going on in my real life that I cannot pull away from long enough to do another stream between now and let's see, what day will it be? Between now and the 25th, I will not be able to do anything on the stream. So yeah, I won't be seeing anybody until then. I hope everybody has a great rest of your day, rest of your week. I hope anybody who did show up got their drops. And I hope to see you all again in 2 weeks, or on the 25th. Goodbye.